Hello everyone! Holy crap, I just saw Spider- Oh my god, I'm falling out of this. This is like too big, I think. This is a jiggle top if I ever did see a jiggle top. Hello everyone, how are you doing? Nobody's gonna watch live because I'm going up against Tug, but that's just because I have to today and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That is only because I have to because of, you know, how the Spider-Man movie worked out, or at least with the time I could watch it. To squeeze it in between, you know, all the 1,005,000 podcasts that I do, because we do Toxic Femininity right before the High Council on Midnight's Edge After Dark, so of course I had to make some time for that. Okay, 7 Central, I got an hour and a half, give or take, to do this. Wooch! Tom just got back and he saw the movie. I'm live, if you want to pop in. I'm live. Wooch! How long do you need Mary to get there? How long do you need Mary to get there? I have no idea what you're talking about. Huh? Talking about. Hello, Black Label. Was Spidey good? Yes, it was. All right, let me say hi to everybody in the chat. I got like 2 chats up. So, hello, Circada, Michael Clemens, Caesar R, 60-Bit Mascot, Steven Kinder, is it Kinder? Shade, 60-Bit Mascot, already said. I'm just going Jack Pitterito, Andre Javonic, and it gets scrolled. To be on Captain April, J. Antoine, the Great Tomas Destroyer, Chef Carolyn Dunlap. So we're gonna avoid spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it, and I'm just gonna kind of give you my impressions. It was a fun movie. I really enjoyed it, but it is the kind of the same story arc that Spider-Man's already kind of gone through in a few ways without spoiling anything. It just kind of felt like a little bit of a rehash. A little bit of a rehash of the last one, just in Europe, and that's fine with me because I did like it a lot, but oh, I'm back. I'm back. I'm done. It's like, I'm back now. Oh, okay. Whoop. Oh, that's somebody else. This is why I don't understand group messages. I always think they're to me, even though it says somebody else. I'm dumb. How's Mysterio? I like Jake Gyllenhaal in this. He was fun. I liked everybody in this because pretty much everybody that is in this one was in the last one pretty much, which I'm very much okay with. All right, what is on my face? What is on my face? Okay, that's it. That's it. That's what that is. No spoilers for post-credit scene, but it was garbage. Well, I'm not gonna talk. There is a post-credit scene, and thank you so much for the $2. Mysterio is awesome, best part of the film. I enjoyed everything, or every character in this movie, but as a movie critic, I'm like, this is a lot of the same thing, even though it was very entertaining. It kind of, if you saw Shazam, I think it's a little better than Shazam. It's not as dark. It's a lot more fun than Shazam. It's not going to be as scary as Shazam was. And I'm comparing it a lot because they're both they're kind of similar sort of stories. They're kind of similar story arcs here. Thank you so much, Black Label. As long as it's fun and a good finish to Phase 3. You know, it seems like it's setting up more, though. It seems like it's setting up a little bit more here and there, which they do kind of get into a little bit more of what's coming up next in the post-credit scene, so watch that one. I enjoyed it. I liked it. It explained a lot of Endgame. It did explain a lot of Endgame. How do I get into this without spoiling any SJW agenda? There's little jokes that Zendaya has that you see in the trailers. You know, like he says, "Oh, you look really pretty today," and that's supposed to justify my existence. I'm just fucking with you, you know, or whatever she says. There's a couple little nods to that. I mean, it is a, you know, he's got one of every color in his class, but that was like that in the last movie, and that's kind of how we are as a society, though, and that's not a whole bunch of white kids, especially in a New York City school. That I'm okay with. I mean, there isn't like tokenism in this, like a lot of stuff is nowadays. It's actually pretty representative of a New York City school, so I'm okay with that. I didn't see a lot of SJW nonsense in it, but I wasn't really looking for it. I'm like, I'm just gonna watch a Spider-Man movie. It's pretty fun. What villain could surpass Thanos? Well, this is more of a, like I said, this is kind of like the Spider-Man movie, right? I know I'm not sparing this video at the same time as Tug. I'm sorry about that. It's just unavoidable because I have another podcast to jump onto soon, right after this, in about an hour and a half. So that's why I'm streaming now. So I apologize, Tug. I usually try and go right before, but it's just kind of how it's like, okay, I could have done the stream first and then missed the podcast by the time I got back. Just because of how the times were stacked in the movie, so I apologize. Midnight Touch After Dark liked it. I did too. I liked it a lot because I like all the Spider-Man movies. I've kind of liked more of the Marvel movies like in the later, like in this last few years, you know, like the better movies for me, in my opinion, like the ones I've enjoyed more have been like Doctor Strange, the last Spider-Man movie, and Guardians 2. I really like Guardians 2 way more than 1 actually for some reason. Tony Nasser, I enjoyed the movie very much. Sweet. I like Tug, but you're more fun. Well, Tug has his own style, and it just depends on what you want to talk about. You can always watch one or the other later. I'll probably leave this one up for a little bit, or I'll just unlist it. And then if you got notified, you can come back to it. If you hit the like button, then you can kind of come back and you're liked. So that's what I'll probably do with this one. Spider-Man 2 is still the best so far. I really loved the Tobey Maguire, at least the first two. The third one was kind of I liked his stuff. I think I like Tom Holland better. I think I do. It's just such a different time of movie. And they're, if you go back and watch the Tobey Maguire ones, they're a little dated. This movie, I have to point out one thing. We're going to talk about this probably on Midnight's Edge. It had the stink of Amy Pascal's name everywhere you could see. Amy Pascal, big letters everywhere. No spoilers, but does Spider-Man drink out of the toilet? I don't believe so. Toby looks like a bug. See, Tom Holland's such a cutie. I mean, he's like, if I were 20 years younger, I'd probably be like, ooh, But, that's just the thing. It's a cute movie. And I kind of, that's the kind of the problem with Endgame for me, was that it wasn't fun and cute. It was sad. And there's a few little downer moments because this is, of course, without really spoiling anything, it is right after Endgame. It's pretty much very soon after the events of Endgame. And they explain away a little bit, and there's a few little dialogue lines. If this is, I took my mother to this today. If this is your first Marvel movie that you've ever seen, you're probably going to be fine with it because they do explain stuff. But if you're here, this probably isn't your first Marvel movie. Oh, man. Prefer Vulture better than Mysterio. I think Vulture was probably a better bad guy in my opinion, but that's Michael Keaton, or a better secondary character. Yeah, it's pretty much the same movie though in a lot of ways. That's the problem. Or it had a lot of the same notes. Or at least it had a lot of the same how do I put this? A lot of the same story arcs. Yes. How they made Mysterio looked amazing. Why does he have a goldfish bowl on his head is my first thought when I first saw this character, because this is me, this is layman's, this is the Star Trek geek going to a comic book movie because it has a lot of similar elements in here and there, because it's like kind of science fiction-y, and yeah, it's not, the comic book movies are not the things that I'm like the expert on. Mysterio's played like a 90s comic character. Kinda, yeah. I should have Tom hop on here. I should like set up a hangout or something. You wanna do that and get on mic with me or something, Tom? You wanna discuss it? Because you're gonna know a lot more like critical stuff than me. How about Kids Safe? It's less creepy and scary for sure than what's the other one? Shazam. It's less creepy and spooky than Shazam. I think as a kid, if I had seen these both as a kid, I probably would have liked them both, but I probably would have liked Shazam being a little creepier better. But I think I liked the music in this one because they had they had one really good choice, and there was a band that they brought back in from the last movie, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but yeah. For a few, I have some work to do. All right, let me set up a hangout here. I'm going to try and capture this. We're going to try and get Tom on mic if I can do this. I haven't done this in a while, but I am, yeah. See, Tom can talk about this a lot more too. Oh, it was fun though. I liked it. I liked it. All right, let me see if I can set up a hangout and actually capture it. All right, with a video call and a boom and do this. And then I'm going to have to go in and get my other audio set up so you guys can hear him, which I think is this one, I think. I think. Invite people. I'm going to send you a link on the DM here. Tom on Twitter. Boop. And paste. Let's see if I can do this right. Let's see if I can do this right. I don't know if I can do this right. And if that works, if not, I'll figure it out. Says I'm the only one here. Woot. There's Tom. All right. Oh, he popped on for a second, and he popped out. Just got into the workhouse the movie. I liked it. It was fun. I thought it was fun.
Sorry about that. Hit the wrong thing.
No worries. All right, let me see if I can pull you up on the display capture.
So can everybody hear? I'd be more worried about if people could hear me than.
It looks like I can hear you, so at least that's important. Can you guys hear him? Who are you, and where are you from, and why do I know you?
I am Tom from Midnight's Edge After Dark, and how do I know you?
I don't know. Didn't I just say show up at the stream, and you're like, get on the channel? I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I think that was
it. Kind of. Well, I reached out to you. I think it was, but.
Because I used to be a fan, I would comment a lot. Yeah,
all the time. And
stalked them.
Nothing wrong with that. Like, you were always one of the first ones to comment on every one of our videos, it seemed like. So, but yeah, I enjoyed the movie. I just dropped my spoiler-free review here a few minutes ago, but pretty much the only thing I didn't like was Jake Gyllenhaal. I mean, I like him as an actor personally. I don't have a problem with him, but in this movie, I didn't like how they handled him without getting into spoilers. But
wasn't it a lot of the same of the last movie? Did you feel like?
Not so much. I mean, if anything, you could say it was a little bit of a role reversal than in the last film, kind of. But in this one, I mean, as far as how the villain was handled, I felt it was handled very poorly. Now, of course, anybody who knows the comics probably already kind of knows where the story is going to go right away. So there's very little element of surprise and how that is handled, and the way Jake Gyllenhaal acts through the whole movie. It gets really kind of stale, and I tried to say it as best I could in my review without getting, too detailed, but it reminded me how like big actors used to handle, parts in the older 90s and 80s and 70s comic book movies, where you have this, it's a very overused trope, and the way they play it out is the overused trope way. And there's just certain elements of it I'm just like, yeah, we didn't really need to drag this out as long as we did, kind of thing. But overall, the movie is good. Don't get me wrong, and don't let that deter you. But other than that, there's just a few elements mostly revolving around his character that I didn't really click with. Otherwise, I felt the rest of the movie was very well handled, very humorous. There's not an overabundance of the SJW stuff in it or anything like that, like we've come to see from a lot of the MCU lately. So, I mean, if you're worried about that, no more than the last film, actually, probably less. And I guess there was the gender neutral character or whatever supposed to be in the movie. I didn't even notice who it was, whoever it was.
Was there?
I guess somebody said something about it. I didn't notice it. But yeah. So let me see if I can find the thing about it. Somebody said something about it on our Facebook page. But I mean, overall, I thought it was really good, though.
See, I thought it was fine. I don't expect a lot from these, and I have no familiarity with the comics other than I used to watch the cartoon when I was a kid. But like really, really little, and have very little memory of it other than the Spider-Man song. And I'm coming in with like seeing, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies and stuff. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. And my only like nitpick as a critic, and this is just a critic nitpick, this is if I had to improve something, it was kind of a similar, I guess, evolution of Peter Parker again that he had in the last Spider-Man movie, And I don't really want to give any spoilers away because so much of it is plot intricate.
I see what you're saying, but I see it as more of a reversal. And this is something that I think you can say without giving away too much plot. Because in the last movie, he was too ambitious.
Yeah.
In this movie, he was afraid.
That's
Like
true.
right from the very start, and we see it right in the trailer. So if you've seen any trailers, he's ghosting, Nick Fury. In the other movie, he's trying to get a hold of Tony through the entire first half hour of the movie. So I mean, like in the first movie, he's way, way overly ambitious. In this one, he's like, I don't want that responsibility, kind of thing, because he's just like, after everything that's happened to him in the last, two Avenger films, he's kind of in the same place Tony was in Iron Man 3 with, yeah, I'm the hero, but do I really want this responsibility? Can I handle this? Knowing how much of a burden it is, kind of thing.
Right. That's yeah. I can see that. It just really seemed similar, and it's kind of the same sort of story for me that we have pretty much time and time again with every superhero movie. Like, you're a hero, I don't want to be.
To a point, yes. There's a lot of very echoey tropes in this movie, but that's okay. They're handled well. All the characters are pretty much handled. I mean, I liked Jake Gyllenhaal in it. It was just the story choices and some of the way he acts, and that he acts towards other characters and stuff. Once you see the movie, I think most people understand what I'm saying. We've seen this show before a million times with this type of character. We've seen the exact same thing over and over again. That was the only part that really felt like, oh man, they're really going to play this out like this. And that was the only part I really felt that was really cringe or anything like that. All the laughs landed for me.
Yeah. There was a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun jokes.
Yes.
I love his friends so much. Even Zendaya is fun. She's cute. She's quirky. I don't mind her. I don't mind her. She's I think Rob was pointing out, oh my God, she's so skinny. It's like, well, yeah, she's probably like 20 years old too, and grew up in Hollywood.
She's a different MJ. She's not
Mary Jane.
Yeah, she's not technically the same, but I liked how they played off that dynamic in the first film. Here, it's a little bit different, but I liked in the first film, like I said, because now we can talk about that without worrying about spoilers. I liked how in the first film they kind of flip-flopped. Instead of him being obsessed with Mary Jane, it was her being obsessed with him. Mm-hmm. And him not noticing her, just like it was, because that was the way it always was in the old comics, was whatever his love interest was ignoring him at the time, and blah, blah, blah. But see, now, like we pointed out, the difference now is Peter Parker wouldn't be a nerd, solitary geek in school. Mm-hmm. He'd be a popular kid because, nerds are cool now. And he's the smartest kid in school pretty much. So, of course he's popular with all the smart kids and some of the other kids in school. And he doesn't seem to get picked on other than by Flash. Mm-hmm. But, and that is even still, they play out the same kind of thing in this one as they did in the first one. So like I said in my review, whatever problems you had with the first movie, you're going to have here. It's almost all the same kind of tropes and same kind of character relationships, except for him and MJ's character relationship obviously blossoms a bit more, as you've seen in the trailers. And I mean, probably the only other complaint I didn't bring up in my spoiler-free review is, this is a typical complaint with Spider-Man movies. How come everybody has to know who he is?
Yeah, it does make a lot. I mean, for me, it kind of makes sense because they would notice him sneaking off. They would notice he's acting weird.
It's like, how many more? It's like you get to a point where it's like you're better off trying to list who doesn't know his secret identity. You
did stay to the end credits, right?
Well, I'm not even going to get to that. I did all that, but I'm just talking about, because it's even in the trailers that MJ kind of figures it out without giving too much away too. So I mean, it's like this thing that we saw at the end of the first film, his aunt figured it out, and that's
just because she walked in on him.
Right. But I mean, here we are though, set up in this world where pretty much everybody already knows he's Spider-Man. And again, not to give too much away, we're kind of getting to a point where we're seeing a lot of Tony in Peter's growth. And I hope people don't take that the wrong way, because I think it's working out nicely with his attitude and where he's going to grow as a character. Because I know Gary's pissed off because this is Spider-Boy, not Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But to me, it was always something I'm like, we've seen 20 movies where he's been Spider-Man. We've only seen him in high school for, a third of a movie. Basically. So let's dwell on that a little bit, because that was always one of the more unique and cool things about Spider-Man, was that he was a teenager for some of the comics, and he wasn't a man. He wasn't out on his own, worrying about his own bills and stuff. He had other stuff to worry about, like homework and Aunt May and this, that, and the other, and prom, you know, not the typical superhero crap, you know, that you normally have. It was just different than the other stuff because he was a kid. That was kind of whole, you know, to me, one of the things that made Spider-Man so unique in certain stories. But again, I can understand certain people's point of view, but we've had 5 movies now where Spider-Man's been out of school. I don't mind seeing him in high school. It doesn't bother me.
It makes sense with the way his character is in this universe, especially. I mean, what are you gonna have him be in you know, like had they introduced him any other way? I think in the Marvel sort of cinematic universe, I don't think he would have worked as well. I think he kind of needed to be like, okay, you're kind of the next one, and here you can have, it's kind of like a Cobra Kai thing where you've got the older characters ushering in the newer characters, you know, and that's what I like, you know, they sprinkle him in before they really drop him in his movie, and he's still learning and he's still growing, and it's not like Captain fucking Marvel where it's like, here, she's the best ever, you just got to go with her because she's the best and we say so.
Yeah, I mean, this movie could have went in a lot of places that one did, and I'm glad it didn't.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse.
And then that's what I said. I mean, if anything, there's probably less SJW stuff in this one than there was the first one. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's even a kind of a joke that's in the trailer. Where
yeah.
you know, he's like, you look beautiful, or you look nice, or whatever it was. And she's like, and therefore I have value, or whatever. And she's like, I'm just kidding, you know? So, like, they almost have, like, a little bit of a laugh, you know, at the expense of that, in that, you know, we're not going to keep beating this drum to death, you know, and it's a good thing, you know, because all the characters are very well handled as far as I was concerned, besides Mysterio. Mm-hmm. And it's great to see, you know, Samuel Jackson again and some of the other characters. And there's a really awesome cameo at the end, and I don't want to give it away.
I don't want to give it away either, but I like
really, really good at keeping it under wraps.
Yes, I was excited. I'm like, oh, yes. Should we tell them who's not in this? Should we give them a heads up of who's not in this?
Well, I know some people already know this because he was reported to be in it. Michael Keaton's not in it, if that's what you mean.
I was going to say a certain blonde-headed, thank you very much, actress.
Oh, she is mentioned, though.
She's mentioned, but it's actually kind of fun. They're like,
it is to a point.
We don't talk about her? Or
until you find out at the end.
Yeah.
And then you know why. And you're like, oh, God damn it.
Yeah, I know.
Because people will know what we're talking about once they see it.
I know, you guys will know.
Because it's a nice little jab there, but then at the end you realize why it was there.
Damn it.
Oh, it's not because of us. It was because of the character. Got it. So, yeah, I mean, there's a couple things that do tie to Captain Marvel, but
not
nothing
like
huge.
Yeah, not even like, you don't even have to see it to even, I mean, you kind of do to get the very end credit scene, though. You do have to see it to get the very end.
Yes.
Or you can just Google what it means, because I think you'll get it. I think anybody who was curious about Captain Marvel already Googled any of the good scenes. So.
Well, it will definitely spoil Captain Marvel for you, that's for sure.
Yeah.
There's the aspect to it that if you've skipped over Captain Marvel, you will be spoiled out of one of the decent aspects of the movie, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and I even said Captain Marvel wasn't that terrible. It wasn't that great, but it wasn't that terrible. But
like we all said, the worst part, one of the worst things you can have, and the worst part of this movie's problem is when your main character is the worst thing in your movie. Mm-hmm.
And at least with Spider-Man, it's not like that, because I really love Tom Holland as Spider-Man. He's charismatic, he's charming. You feel what he's feeling. You believe that, you know, when he's on screen, like, oh my God, I'm a failure or whatever, you feel sorry for him and you actually care. And he actually learns and has an arc and grows and, you know, isn't just the bestest ever.
No, and Rob, what if you only wished you skipped over Captain Marvel?
There's a song in here, Rob. If you see this movie, you will see this movie. You will get this song.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a sequel to the original film, and you must have seen Infinity War and Endgame. It does. Mm-hmm. It doesn't dive into it too much, but it does kind of give you an idea of how things have moved on since the events of those two films. For those who are wondering, without getting into too many spoilers for anybody who may not have seen Endgame yet, maybe Rob.
You didn't see Endgame yet?
No, he's seen Endgame.
Uh,
But no, he said the Ramones. I said maybe.
Just pay attention. You'll hear it. You'll hear it.
One of my biggest laughs was, and people when they see the movie will get what I'm saying with the whole comparison to Tony thing. And I liked it. It was played well. And I love the bit though when he's like, "You take care of this. I'll handle the music." Starts the music. I love Led Zeppelin.
Oh God! Like,
oh shit! I know nobody knows what I'm talking about who hasn't seen the movie, but
I do. I was like, oh God, that's such a Peter Parker thing to say. Oh no, I liked it. It was fun. I thought you have trivia, Rob. Are you leaving? You wanna link? You wanna hang out for a second, or you go rush out the door? You don't know what we're talking about. You might as well hang out though.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the movie yet. I don't think you got a chance to today yet.
That's okay. You can just shoot the shit. It was fun. I liked it. I liked this movie a lot. Where's my link? Adaptation.
I don't think that's gonna happen, Chad's World. I don't. I was waiting for something kind of in this movie too, and it didn't happen.
Which thing were you waiting for?
He says, let me find it. I just went back up here. Can't wait for them to undermine Tony's sacrifice and bring him back as an AI. No, I was waiting for something too, like a cameo, even almost like a digital version of Tony or something to pop up at some point. But no, they didn't. And not to spoil it for anybody, it's played very well how it picks up, and if anything, the trailer probably plays certain elements more so than they're actually in the movie. As far as like, how do I put it without giving it away? We don't dwell so much on the sappiness of the situation, but it plays into, like I was saying about how Peter, like in the first film, he was just overzealous and over anxious to be a superhero. And in this one, he's very cautious and leery because he knows the responsibility and the weight of it all. And what he's carrying with that burden on his shoulders now. Yeah, you got to see the movie to get what I'm saying, but they handle it really well, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think it was that bad. I thought it was fun. It was good. It was a decent movie. I liked it a lot. It was entertaining. It did everything I wanted it to. So I kind of do wish Tony Stark would have popped in, but no, they do mention and you know, pretty much everything that happened in Endgame has an impact in this, and they play it off. It's not nearly as depressing as an Endgame, so I liked that.
Well, some of the elements they handle quite humorously and well. You know, not to give too much away. Like right away, we find out, you know, certain people that were, you know, they call it the blip.
Yeah. Instead of the dusting.
When people came back, you know, and you just find out, like many of us questions had asked, you know, what happens when you move, you know, the rest of the world has moved on without you. You just have to find a way to move on with the rest of the world, basically, kind of in so many ways. And they find some humorous ways to kind of deal with that. And of course, you know, some people are going to complain they're not really handling or dealing with some of the more, you know, sadder elements to that. You know, I mean, there is going to be some stuff that they didn't talk about that other people talked about, like, you know, what about people who've had families that moved on without them, you know, and what about the people who died at the result of people that were snapped, not because they were snapped?
Yeah.
You know, there is other circumstances that surround this. Hey, Rob,
you were driving in a car with someone who got snapped away, and they're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
Or like a plane full of people whose pilots got snapped. You know,
yeah.
I mean, there's hundreds of people that didn't weren't expected to
collateral damage,
and they didn't come back. Yeah. So I mean, of course, there's those elements that I wouldn't say they gloss over per se, but they use the humorous way of doing it. And I know some people are going to bitch about it, but you know, it has its moments in this movie where they do cover it, and it does stop praising mediocre. It's not mediocre though. That's the thing.
Yeah, somebody said we're trying to convince ourselves it was good. No, I really liked it. I liked the last one. I liked this more than Endgame. You know, you got to convince me that Endgame was.
No, I didn't like it better than Endgame.
I like Chad's question. Was Thor's liposuction in this film?
Thor's not here, but no, Thor's not here, man. They mention him.
Seriously, the main issue I had with the movie, and that was just how Jake Gyllenhaal's character was handled. That was really it. On a scale of 5, No, I'd say it's more like a 3.5 maybe. It's on par with the first film. If you liked the first film, you're probably going to like it. If you didn't like the first film...
The first meaning Homecoming.
Yeah. If you didn't, you probably aren't going to like it as much. You might like it a little more, but you probably aren't going to like it. I mean, it's really one of those kind of movies where it all depends on how you felt about Homecoming, really.
And that's kind of how a lot of these Marvel movies are. They're so hit and miss, right? That you're like, which one, I like one but not the other. And yeah, they're so divisive anyway.
Yeah,
Rosetta
Allen says she's tired of the million remakes of Batman, Spider-Man, Superman. Time to retire. But the thing is, it's not a remake. It's not they're not telling the same story. Uncle Ben is already dead. We don't have to see him get bit by we know that part, so we can just jump into the good stuff now.
Yeah, same thing with Uncle Ben. And some people have said that certain other characters are kind of replacements for Uncle Ben. No, not really. He's already kind of... I feel like there probably already was an Uncle Ben in this universe. We've just bypassed all that shit.
Of course there was. And like I said, we're just skipping to the good part. We all know the story.
Well, just like I've said, how many times do we have to see the poor Waynes die on camera?
Right. So I got to address somebody in the chat here. They're saying that it's fitting that Mecha Lex and die as MJ. You are the Big Bang Theory of redheads. Actually, I'm the Star Trek geek that thinks comic books are a little kid stuff. So watch yourself or I will rip off the riding crop. I've got 3 of them down here, and I'm not gonna afraid to use them on my own chat.
So she's calling us immature, Tom.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm just saying the comic book movies are a little not in my wheelhouse, but I'm not some fucking airhead like Minnie.
Well, Rosetta, it's still another adaptation retelling of his youth. I just want to go to more obscure superheroes. I understand your point, though. Not for nothing, we don't actually see the real Spider-Man. We never seen the real Spider-Man in the comics, for the most part, was 23, 24 years old. That was the bulk of the stories we got. Or that he had, he's been to college. He graduated from Empire State. He was working at the Bugle. He was working as as an assistant to Doc Connors or whomever, and he was struggling to maintain all of that stuff. We've never seen that Spider-Man. If you want to see the real Spider-Man, go play the Sony Spider-Man for PS4. That's the real Spider-Man.
Now, pretty much if Mecha likes it as a comic book movie, that says something.
Yeah.
Well, that's
it's an enjoyable film.
Normie, though, and you guys are absolutely right. I am kind of the normie coming into the comic book stuff. I am the Star Trek geek that comes in and like
Star Trek, Star Wars.
But I will say in a way, Rosetta is correct that we do need to see more people. The problem is now that the problem has always been that the Marvel rights have been scattered all over the place, and there's really no way to tell a story about Namor, the Submariner, without introducing him in a more popular movie first, and more characters first, or they botched the Inhumans. Oh my god, that could have been special, but that's completely foobarred. I'm trying to think of what other good obscure.
Yes, he was Rusty X2010.
Well,
Jake Gyllenhaal was a runner-up for Raimi's Spider-Man.
That's all right.
He was almost going to replace Tobey Maguire when
once, twice. Yeah,
when Tobey Maguire hurt his back in filming Seabiscuit.
Some people say he was doing that to get a bigger paycheck.
All right, this hard person is being completely racist and annoying. They're telling me race swapping is racist SJW bullshit. It's not the same person though. And if you can't handle some casting of people who aren't white, then maybe you're a racist, because not everything that when they cast a character that has a little brown in their skin is SJW race swapping.
Well, in this instance, I'll defend it because it's not like they make a big deal out of her being black now.
Right.
It is not once ever called attention to.
Exactly. And I don't even know what race she is, for crying out loud. And I don't care.
Well, she's basically, I believe she's mixed white and black, but that doesn't even really matter because, it's not like they're like, I'm Mary Jane now, and she's coming in all acting like, your stereotypical black, character and something like
girlfriend! Spider-Man in the house.
Yeah.
No,
You
she's
know,
like
it's
a normal
nothing like
kid.
that at
This is why I defend, you know, the diversity in the movie, right? Because these are normal kids. This is not a big deal to anybody except for this racist asshole in the chat, Hart here. This Harp, the radical racist moderate here. They're the only person who has a problem with it. You know, go to New York City, Rob. Have you ever like driven by a school, you know, when you're not allowed to, and in New York or something, and you see all these other kids of different colors and races and everything else. That's normal.
Are you trying to say I cruise high schools, NECA? Is that what you're trying to say?
It's a joke.
I know.
You might.
Even take the high school I went to. Jeez, I mean that's.
I lived in Vegas 20 years ago, and you drive by. You know, I would drive by the one high school on my way to work every day, and on the way home, you'd see every color of the rainbow coming out of that school, and it's not like it's a thing that should matter. You know,
that's not like the Fantastic Four situation.
Exactly.
Get him, Sadie.
Right, Sadie?
Where that was simply done for so we would talk about it.
Yes.
and because Michael B. Jordan is in tight with Josh Trank.
Well, and then to me, the part of that was more of the problem of why they had to make them adopt Sue Storm and have her still be white.
Excuse me, I've got a racist in the chat calling me a Nazi. Harp, you guys might want to deafen yourselves. Harp, I am not. These characters could have been the original characters. Racism is always racist. You evil lying Nazi fuck. Don't you ever call me racist on my fucking channel, you piece of shit. I will smack the stupid out of you if you fucking do that again. You don't talk to me like that on my channel, you piece of shit.
Why do I keep thinking of this Stephen Lynch song? I think you're a Nazi. I think you're a Nazi, baby. Are you a Nazi?
Well, and just to kind of bring it back down and bring it to, you know, Chris Neville brought up, I do have a problem with Flash Thompson. I don't, but Rob did. But his reasons had nothing to do with his race. It had to do with the fact that he wasn't the typical bully. More so, I believe, wasn't it, Rob? When we did the review, that was
that. That and Tom Holland had almost a full inch on them. I mean, who's in? I mean, really?
Now there's a new character in this one. I'm not going to give anything away. Who kind of is the Flash Thompson replacement to a point, but he's still not a bully. There, you know, we don't, and really there isn't a straight up bully, and there's no need for one. Why do we have to see Peter Parker kick the shit out of somebody because we know he can? We've seen it already.
We need someone so that he doesn't kick the shit out of him, because as like Uncle Ben said, just because you can beat him up doesn't mean you should.
You kind of have that character in this movie. I will say that much without giving anything.
I just tend to think that the Flash Thompson character in Homecoming was pandering, and they made him a DJ to make it look, oh well, we have to make it a football player. That's really that's too American. Let's make him a DJ. Yeah, kid. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah. You know,
I still stick by my theory. They swapped it to where he picks on Peter because he likes him. I think he's gay for him.
He's super gay.
I do. I really do.
That's Flash's new superhero character, super gay. So.
But no, and I mean,
what I do now?
Be worse. There's been much worse situations than this. I don't mind Zendaya in the part.
No, because she's not.
We've seen Mary Jane before. We've seen Gwen Stacy before, and just like I brought up before, against what Rob just said too, as far as, you know, usually we see Spider-Man. He's already, in most of his stories, he's already a man, and that's what Gary doesn't like about the movie. But we already have, 5 movies where he was already a man. So we don't, it's kind of neat to see him in high school.
I'm tired of the same movie over and over again. I'm tired of seeing, and it's Mary Jane again, and it's this one, and it's this one. I'm okay with it not being Mary Jane. I'm okay with it being a different chick. I get tired of the same.
Yeah, Flash Thompson's like new alter ego. It's gonna be Rusty Trombone. That's
Well, actually, in this one, what I did like was Ned, and I'm not going to give anything else away, but there's some other characters who have some really great shit in this movie. I don't know if Mecca knows what I'm talking about, but
Oh God, give me a little hint here. I'm
It
double
starts
checking.
on the plane.
Oh God, I love the plane. The plane was fun.
All right. Don't spoil. Like I said,
No,
I'm
we're not
gonna go
spoiling
see
it.
it this
And all
weekend.
the
You're gonna like
supporting
this.
characters
Wait
are
till this
great
weekend.
in it, and it doesn't take itself as seriously as some of the other Marvel movies have. It is very grounded in a sense that it's not like this cataclysmic thing that's going to end the world. Even though they set it up like that, it still feels very grounded, like the first film.
Isn't that one of the problems though when you raise the stakes so high that eventually you become numb to it?
Well,
You know, that's kind of like, but that's what I kind of liked about Homecoming is that the stakes weren't that high. Yeah, okay, you know what? It was just about a guy trying to do best for his family. You know, do right by his family. The Vulture, you know.
Greetings,
I like
my
that.
excellent friend.
Yeah.
Can I turn up my mic? I can turn down theirs a little.
that might be, yeah.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
turn down
and
theirs.
that's what I liked about the first one, and that's what I like about this one. It could be a television episode of a Spider-Man series.
Oh, that sounds even better.
Because it does. It just kind of picks up and goes. I mean, of course, like I said, you've had to have seen the first film plus the last couple Avenger movies and stuff like that. But, you know, it doesn't feel like, you know, this is going to affect everything else in the MCU. And at the same time, there's the one elements, most of the elements of Mysterio I didn't care for, but at least some parts of it, it's like, okay, well, it's because of this character that, you know, things are happening and other things are happening. And it's like, because if they were just happening in a normal setting, like a normal comic book movie, you'd be like, oh God, same shit again all the time. His friends are in trouble. He's got to save him. Why do they keep winding up in these kind of situations? It's a little hard to believe, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So this movie plays that very well, and it could have gone, you know, way, way, way off the deep end in a lot of places, but it didn't. Luckily, it held steady throughout. It does. I don't know if you felt it at all, Mecca, but it does feel like it kind of drags just a little bit near the end.
Yeah, it could have been shorter. It could have been like a half an hour shorter.
Like when they have the big twist, they could have almost finished. Like that could have been just that. That could have almost been the climax to me.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have just ended it there. No, I liked it. It did kind of drag a little. It didn't drag nearly as much as Endgame for me, but Endgame, my issue with Endgame is I don't care that much about Iron Man and Captain America and Black Widow and Hawkeye. I don't care that much about the Avengers because I'm kind of like, you pique my interest when, oh, Spider-Man's here now. Oh, okay, now I'll watch because Spider-Man's back. Or, you know, so that's kind of when I'm coming in. And, like, that was my biggest problem with Endgame. It's like, no Spider-Man, no Doctor Strange. Most of the Guardians are gone. It's like,
No, it's more like, Joseph, I'm really looking for stuff to complain about, really.
That's what we're doing, yeah, because I would give this is like an 8.5 out of 10 movie, and that's
It's
only
really
because
not. It's really not that bad. Even the moment where it does kind of drag, it's not that bad. There's like maybe another 10, 15, maybe 20 most minutes left after that. But that should have probably been the logical ending, but it's not. But that's all.
Lethal Lightning with a
Lightning.
$2 Australian super chat. Yeah.
Gotta head to work now. He said climax. He did.
Steel Johnson, another great name.
Steel Johnson, $1. Thank you so much. $1 super chat. They'll pop up. I don't know why one pops up before the other one, but they do pop up.
Rusty, I couldn't tell you where Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ties in anymore because I don't watch it. I didn't even know it was still
I'm
on.
not even sure if it does.
I've heard conflicting shit. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched it though. So
The end credits are a problem for Vienna Wells in chat here. I was okay with the end credit scenes. There was 2 of them. Well, I'm kind of curious to see what happens with the mid credit scene now. But
Don't spoil it.
No,
Don't
we're not
spoil
spoiling it. We're not spoiling it. I'm just kind of curious to see where it goes. There is a mid credit and a post credit scene.
yep.
I did watch Anti-Trekker. I did catch a little bit of Anti-Trekker today, and he said that some people would say, "Oh, well, Marvel's going down the total SJW route." He goes, "No, not according to this movie. No,
No,
He
not
doesn't
really.
think-
I don't think so.
No, and like I said, they even kind of play with it a few times here and there.
I do love the in every preview I've seen about where's Thor? You know, is Thor's off planet. Captain Marvel unavailable. Just like unavailable. We don't talk about her. That's kind of.
That they kind of ruin that for you, but at the same time they don't. I'm not going to spoil anything. Darth Scipio says Spider-Man universe is not a place for Nick Fury. He was in a couple of the series, wasn't he? I know he was in the last one.
Where's well, Nick Fury was he in the last movie though? No, he was in the last movie.
It's not. it's not the Spider-Man universe though. It's the Marvel
Yeah, it's
Cinematic
a
Universe.
different thing.
But when they did that last series, even before Spider-Man was brought into the MCU, they had what's his face do the voice of Coulson on that series as well. And I thought they had Nick Fury show up a couple times. But anyway,
I don't know. I don't remember.
the hunky chunky funky monkey gave it.
Super chat. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I don't climax. He hates. I don't climax. He hates being climbed.
But
Agree.
get off of Max.
Spartan Jeremy, agree with Rob. Spider-Man isn't bubbled in his own universe anymore. All bets are off. That's right. That's right.
Now, without spoiling, do they give some hints at Phase 4 in any of the?
I think they do in the end, right? Would you say a little bit in the end?
Oh, they definitely let us know that things are going to go very cosmic from here on out.
Okay,
yeah, which we kind of knew anyway, because we know.
I mean, other than whatever they do with Spider-Man, which is, the way this movie ends, you gotta think that they extended the deal with Sony almost.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Sony may have sweetened their end of the deal, but
I would like to see at least another 3 movies with Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
I like him as Spider-Man. He looks the part. He can do the physical stunts. He's a really good actor. I really, really enjoy him as Spider-Man.
He's a likable kid. I mean, it's weird. Yeah, he's just, oh yeah, cool, Tom Holland. Oh yeah, cool. There he is. Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. It's like just watch him in what was it, that dance battle thing, or that lip sync battle where he comes out and he's doing Singing in the Rain, and then he strips off his Singing in the Rain top hat and stuff, and he's got like hot pants underneath, and he starts doing Rihanna's Umbrella. It's like he's such a likable kid. He's an entertainer. He's a performer. He wants to make people happy and engaged, and he wants to entertain people, and that's one of the things I like about him, and you can see that on screen. Same thing with, and here's one thing. I took my mom to this. She has no idea who anybody is. She recognized Jon Favreau from some Hallmark movie. She's like, oh, I like that guy who's happy. So anybody can watch these too. Anybody can come in. She liked Tom Holland as Spider-Man too. Like,
he was really good in this movie.
Yeah.
I gotta, I mean, he's not. Nobody's gonna say it that much, but yes, Jon Favreau really, really got a little bit more got a lot more screen time than he has in some of the other movies in this one, and it pays off.
Well, he's the link to back to Tony is what it is.
Yeah,
I don't want to give too much away, but he's kind of,
that's kind of what it is. He's
There's
the
not going
link
to be
back.
a whole lot of spoilers in this, I don't think, or a lot of like big reveals. I think
don't
you're
want
going
to
to
give
get
too much
it.
away because I liked how it was played out. I
Yeah.
do, for the most part. The only thing, like I said, was the Mysterio shit, and my only real complaints was how they played it out in a way. Like I said, it feels like a '90s comic book character, and a lot of that's Jake Gyllenhaal's choices with how he played it and the story itself.
Yeah, he gets a little, what would you say, a little scenery chewing a little bit towards the end.
That part especially, but just the way it's played out is just the way that you've seen this played out a million fucking times before. And the way that the interactions with the characters, without giving too much away, is just so generic. In that cookie cutter, you know exactly, like I said, if you go in knowing who this character is, you have no surprises with that at all. And if you go in remotely, whatever, it's kind of, I'm sure it's going to come. I'm sure it's really obvious, or so. I don't know how to put it without getting it too,
I didn't see it coming, but I wasn't paying that close of attention.
All right, come on, don't get the spoilers.
No, don't. We're not spoiling. I'm just saying, like, but I don't overanalyze, and I don't try and pick apart.
I have a piece of wood in my hand. You got your right cup. I got a piece of wood in my hand. Back scratcher. You know what's gonna happen to you if you get the spoilers. I'm talking to Tom.
Oh, yeah. I thought I was gonna get a spanking.
Said it's a mystery.
It's a mystery.
Do you have a spanking too?
Okay, as long as you ask that. Okay. You ask nicely. Hi-oh.
No, I liked it. It was fun. Gonna do a Jumanji next level reaction. Maybe if does Sony copyright claim? Did I get a copyright claim on Spider-Man from Sony?
Jumanji. I don't have the echo.
I don't know if I'm gonna do one, but I did watch the trailer. I don't know if I'm gonna.
Jumanji.
I don't remember any of it. They actually didn't show the Jumanji trailer. They didn't really show anything new when I saw this, except for like some Pixar movie about unicorns and shit.
No, it's a unicorn store.
It was not Unicorn Store. It was a different unicorn movie. My first thought is, shit, unicorns are dicks. And I'm like, yeah, they kind of are. Yes.
Somebody who's on my turned up on my friend's feed in on Facebook, and it was like transgender, non-gender binary day somewhere. There was a Pride. It was part of Pride weekend.
Yeah.
And she was dressed like Brie Larson from Unicorn Store.
Oh God.
And I just had a good laugh. I was just like, oh, you gotta be kidding me.
That's a good watch though. That's a good get high and watch that and riff it. Just ripping a new one. That is so fun. I highly recommend it.
Everything's so green.
Somebody sold me some unicorn. No. There was a trailer for unicorn. For some unicorn Pixar movie or something. I don't know what it was. It had to do with like elves and fairies. Oh, but they're living in modern day, and they have like cars and lawnmowers and trash cans and I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird one. It's a weird kids movie. But no, there's like here's a weird thing about Spider-Man. The theater I went to was like probably 75% women.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people in my 3D showing, and it did 71 million already overseas in areas where it's already opened up. So I have a feeling this movie's going to do very well.
This will hit $1 billion, especially it's opening Tuesday. It's like
holiday.
There was
A
not
lot of people had the week off. A lot of people had the week off for 4th of July.
When I bought tickets last night, they had added a few showings, and then even today they added another showing because they had it at like 12 and then 1:15. I went to the 1:15. They added a 1 o'clock showing.
Excellent!
Oh, thank you so much. Tubian 323 $5 super chat. To the internet, she's your discipline, Mecca. Mistress. Oh, thank you so much. I try. I just can't take it when people are like, oh, you're fake. You don't. It's like, seriously, I'm not gonna call SJW just because there's a woman in it, or just because there's somebody who might be of an ethnic mystery to them, you know? It's a different character. I don't care.
No, when we have a problem with it is when they're calling attention to it and
look at us.
We've
got diversity. Look at us.
Like Ghostbusters 2016 is a perfect example.
Saber Wolf, yeah, the Mistress Mecca is the new thing with the writing. I broke my writing crop. I've been slapping the hell out of
That
like my
poor
favorite.
lady. She don't break her hand, but she break that goddamn writing crop.
Yeah, I'll break the writing crop. My hand is fine.
Wow, you got a pretty young crowd, Mecca.
I'm 14. I'll probably like it. I'm not used to having a lot of young people in crowds.
Yeah, it's perfect age for it.
Yeah,
Perfect.
14. Definitely, you'll enjoy it if you're like.
There was some
14,
kids
like
there.
last
I
one.
don't remember them being rambunctious at all through the movie. Or not, and there were some younger ones too. So
All right,
everybody
good.
seemed to enjoy it.
Good.
Ghostbuster started the trend. Spartan Jeremy says, Rob, stop beating your wood. That's for
I'll go
after
bu-
the stream. No.
I'll go blind if I keep it up.
Right?
If that was the case, you'd have been blind way back in 1986
What? Who said that? What? Somebody said.
and deaf, evidently.
Hey, I need my. Where's my Braille keyboard? So.
They called you old Squinty.
Right. No, I liked the movie, though. I liked the movie. It was fun.
You get that knock on the door in the bathroom. Son, what are you doing in there? Going blind.
I loved that. One more person knocks on that door, we're gonna have to go to another funeral.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. There's some really good Nick Fury moments in this. There's some really good. Yeah. Can I say who's not in the movie that I really wish would have been?
I don't care. It's not up to me.
Do you guys mind? There's one little spoiler of somebody who's not in the movie, which I didn't think you guys would think was in the movie. I'm really sad, though, with all the Nick Fury, there was no orange cat.
Oh well.
Spoiler, no orange kitty.
I really.
Well,
didn't-
there's probably a reason for that too, but it could have been cool to see him at least in a cameo.
Yeah, or at the very end or something, or just give it. You know, like they had him at the end of whatever with the Tesseract with the hairball.
coughing it up. Yeah.
I
Well,
wish
I
you
mean-
would have shown him just a second.
Yeah. You know, he would say, He would say, you motherfucker.
Oh, he had a Samuel L. Jackson moment there for a second. He was like, what was he like, bitch,
Bitch,
please?
you been to space.
Yeah, that was it. I love That was a good one too. Yeah, Nick Fury was really good at this too. I loved any time you see Samuel L. Jackson on screen. He's just fun.
$2, deranged lunatic.
Deranged
You won't go
lunatic.
blind. Take it from somebody who that knows.
Well, Rob's living proof of that. We already know that's horseshit.
Yeah, I'm not blind yet. My vision's just severely impaired.
Yeah, you guys think that his porn habits is exaggerated? It's not. It's not. He probably has a tab open right now.
I want my $2.
Quicksand.
Quicksand porn. James Franco
Pete,
should come
no,
back and
Pete,
play
do
Uncle
not
Ben.
post the ending. No, do not
Don't
post the ending.
Yeah. You
Just-
won't. Here's the ending. Well, it ends with some credits.
Yeah.
A lot of
Somebody-
credits. Just so they
we
just
find
keep going.
Amy
and going.
Pascal pictures or whatever.
Oh,
Fuck.
fuck. Amy Pascal was all over. Her cunt was smeared all over the crust of that thing. It was just so tacky. It's like, even in the opening credits, it's like they show all the opening credit Marvel stuff, and there's Amy Pascal's big fucking name right on screen. I'm like, oh, here we go. Here we go.
No, he doesn't, Pete. He loses.
Actually, it's a draw. Advantage push. There are no winners here.
Fury's
So-
not the same after knowing how he lost his eye.
do we-
Yeah, kinda. They really did cut
Yeah.
his balls off with that one.
Do we find out who shot JR?
Not yet.
I think it was the cat.
This Aunt May sucks. That kind of sucks. Though. No, I like
I
that. I
love
like
her.
this Aunt
She's
May.
so
She's
sweet.
hardly in this movie.
Oh, she's so sweet and fun, and she's so
Yeah, she's good in it, but she's barely
Well,
in
if
it.
you
she's
think
so
about
much
it, it
the
really doesn't make
obnoxious
sense.
parent, right?
What?
She's kind of the obnoxious parent, and that's what's good about her.
Yeah, but she's got what, like 5 minutes of screen time in this? Well, maybe a little more. That's right. She does get a few bits in here and there.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for Peter Parker to have an aunt that's in her 70s or 80s.
I've said that a million times. I've said that way back when.
It's like, why does
Unless
she look like
it's his
she's
great aunt and uncle, then that's the only, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm okay. Imagine if your mom.
But as
started
far as
pumping
I know,
your t-shirt.
Ben and his dad have always been brothers. Hasn't that been the
Yeah.
familial connection?
Mhm.
Even though he's older, but what is he, 20-year older brother?
Could be. Hello, Sith Lord. Thank you for being here. Welcome.
So even if Ben Parker and what was his mom's name? What was his? Oh, whatever. Mom Parker. If they had Peter when they were in, let's just say 30 at the most, 28, 30 at the most. At the most, Aunt May would be around what, 46, 47, maybe.
Yeah, Marissa Tomei is
50?
absolutely age appropriate.
Now, it's not totally abnormal to have children with that big of an age gap in big families. I know that for a fact. But it just always, to me, was very hard to swallow Aunt May being so much older. And it just never made much sense to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was more like his grandma than his aunt.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That's what she was feeling like, yeah. And I think that's why I liked Marissa Tomei. She makes sense as, this kid's aunt, and
I like their relationship too. They do I love that it's not like the old, nosy grandma relationship too.
No, she's like, yeah, I get it. Take us, here.
She's the cool hippie aunt.
She gives Peter space. She's just like, oh, just as long as you stay out of trouble, it's okay. Don't worry. I was young too. Yeah.
Because she gets it, and she knows, and especially now, because spoiler from the last movie, she knows he's Spider-Man, so, from 2-year-old spoiler.
What the fuck? Yeah, that part.
Is it worth watching in IMAX 3D? I watched it
I don't know.
so.
I've heard it has IMAX scenes in it. I don't know how much. Here's what pisses me off about this. I went and seen the first one in IMAX, and they didn't do anything special for IMAX. So I went to go see a movie in IMAX just to watch it with black bars at the top and bottom of the screen through the whole damn movie.
I want my $2.
So this time I just went regular, and then I read a thing earlier that they do have an IMAX version. I don't know if the entire film is or if just certain scenes are, but yeah, there is supposed to be an IMAX version. So, and I do prefer 3D and IMAX, yes.
Yeah, I kind of wish I would have seen it,
I liked it, but I think the theater I went to, they had it really dimly lit. This is a shitty part about going to certain theaters. They don't have the lens the light for the lens turned up to the full capacity to save on a little bit of electricity.
Yeah, and then it's too dark, you can't see it. And then you put the 3D glasses on top of it. Yeah. See, I think I liked it because it was bright enough. I could actually see everything. It was in the daylight.
Luckily, it is a brighter movie because even the daylight scenes, it looked like it was overcast all the time because of the 3D part. And
thank you so much, $2 super chat. Sorry, they cut off the balls
no,
of
no,
the
no.
accuser too. I didn't want to let it scroll too much before I forgot. Thank you so much, Strange Lunatic.
No, I've been yakking too long anyway because now I'm gonna get nothing done before.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, I got it. I'm gonna probably wrap up in like 10 minutes anyway, just so I can get something to eat before Toxic Femininity. And if you want to set that up, if you want to set up a stream, then I can link that in here, and then they can
I
just
might
bring
as well do
everybody
that
over,
quick, yeah.
and they can just like wait 10-15 minutes or so. Tony Nasser, Australia, $2. Gotta go unleash the power of the righty crop. Thank you so much, Tony Nasser. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, Deranged Lunatic. Yeah, you got Deranged Lunatic's one before?
Yeah. They cut off Ronan the Accuser's balls.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
They kind of did. Well,
Well,
that
he's
was more in Captain Marvel, though, right?
yeah. Maybe he's Kree, so maybe he has an extra set. So.
You never know, right?
Bruce Wayne became Batman in his late 20s. Yeah. Okay, I don't know why we're talking about that, but okay. But actually,
Isn't
they
it
announced
in England?
today,
Of course, it's overcast. Only some. Well, it's all throughout Europe. So.
well, it's England. It's Venice.
Road trip.
Road trip. This seems like it's part of the. It was part. Remember, we did the Spider-Man mini doc, and they've always had a boner for setting Spider-Man in Europe for some reason.
Yeah, well, it makes sense.
Well, but
Didn't that have more to do with Sony trying to
is a big push for international marketing?
Yeah, and get probably to get
bigger overseas box
funding and
yeah,
because the whole thing with Sony is anymore they're run by Tom Rothman. So
how can we get the Spider-Man get more money to make the Spider-Man? Oh, can we have him go to England? I hear it's lovely this time of year
and cheaper.
Oh, they got so many tax credits. The Czech tax credit. And
I've always wanted to go to Italy. Can we have him go there next? Oh yeah, I'd love to have lunch in a Italian bistro in Venice. Oh, I knew a girl. She went to Venice. She became a streetwalker, but she drowned. It was so terrible. It was sad. It really was.
I'd go to Venice. Well, they have Venice in Vegas. They also have Paris in Vegas, so you can do all of those things.
Oh, they have. Oh, little girl, why do you want to go to Las Vegas? It's terrible. It's so hot. I'll schwitz there. It's
okay. Take me to Europe. And no, it was not woke. Small Yoda asks. I don't think it was very. I don't think it was woke. I think it was just fine. It was just kids.
It was totally woke. I was awake the whole time while I was watching this movie. I was totally woke. Oh, that's what the kids are telling. He's doing Mort. It's like a combination between Mort Goldman and Woody Allen. Yeah.
No, but let's face it. Between Tom Rothman and Amy Pascal, we're lucky that Disney and Kevin Feige are involved with this shit because.
Oh, that Kevin Feige! He's such a nice young fella. He used to get my sandwiches back in the day. Nice to see he's made something of himself.
Yeah, and he the one that bitched through a sandwich at.
Oh yes. It was a good thing. It was still wrapped in the plastic because the mayonnaise it just went over. It's not kosher. I would have had to go see my rabbi and get blessed it off of me. It was terrible.
Do you guys think Disney are aiming Spider-Man at an even younger audience? I don't think it's even that much of a younger audience, really, than any of the other Marvel movies. To be perfectly honest, Spider-Man. I watched Spider-Man the reruns of the cartoon when I was 5. So,
Professor Geek is giving it a thumbs down.
Really?
Yeah.
How come?
Spider-Man Far From Home is both far from Spider-Man and far from entertaining. Okay.
I liked it. I had a lot of fun with it, but I liked the last one. And like I said, if you like the last one, I think you'll like this one.
Okay. Oh, that's good to know, little girl. Let me tell you. we had a hard time making this movie. It was so terrible. You know, I kept saying to Amy, I don't understand. Can't we just have Spider-Man run around in just like a regular jacket and blue jeans? Does he have to wear the costume? Because he looks a little bit like a gay if he does. Oh, we're not supposed to say that, Wade. Oh my God, he looks a little what? I heard my barber say he looks a little feminucci. Is that the Wade? Yeah, that's the Wade. He's an Italian. He comes up with these weird words. You know, I was having a nice schwitz, and it's just, I thought of that. And I said to Amy, what can we do to change Spider-Man? And she says to me, Amy, what did you say to me?
Who's Amy?
I'm on so many drugs, I'm not even sure where I'm at right now.
Oh, you aren't. Okay. It was, but in the end, you know, they did the computer magic, and he looked pretty good, and you know, we said, what about the tush? Can we have a little tushy tuck here, because we're sending the wrong message. You know, we don't want him to stand out too much. And he said, no, the ladies will love it. You know, it's something, you know. And I said, okay, as long as you're sure. And Amy,
butt stays.
Oh yes, that's right. And we have to make Amy happy, because you know she has my balls in her desk. It's
because I have the only thing that makes you money.
That's right. That's right. It's we're really screwed, aren't we, Amy?
You are. I got the fuck out of there while it was good.
Yes. Oh, maybe there's still hope for Men in Black.
Oh, told him.
So how much did that one lose? What, 90 million or something?
Oh, that's not good. Well, maybe that nice Ryan Johnson boy, maybe his movie will do well. I don't know. That's not one of us. What do we have left anyway? We don't have the James Bond anymore, do we? Oh, pooh. Oh, what do we have? We still have Jeopardy, don't we?
Sony?
At least,
yeah, Sony still has Wheel and Jeopardy, I think. Yeah.
Oh,
both
okay. I'll take How Screwed Are We for 400, Alex.
Not at all. No, I think the movie was good. I think it was good. I don't think it's gonna flop. I think it's gonna make its money. I don't know who's like not happy. I guess. See, that's the thing. I think we're kind of in a day and age where they're making movies for people like me who are kind of more normies, with like the comic book movies. But they're making actual decent stuff, and I don't think this would be that much of a problem with something like Star Trek if it were actually good, and I could probably get on board with it and be just fine with it. But
Stanley had once said, every comic is someone's first comic.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that you're making a movie that someone could just jump in and not being familiar with it can enjoy it. That's
how we would watch TV always. You know, you just channel surf and you're like, what's this show? And then you start watching it and you can just jump in. And that's one of the problems with modern TV now, is that it's all Netflix and they just dump it all at once. And you kind of start from the beginning. And if that first couple of episodes are crap, then you don't keep watching.
Why do you think I never watched Game of Thrones? Because I don't want to. I'm like, you got to watch Game of Thrones. Yeah, but then I have to start from the beginning. I don't want to jump into this.
Right?
You midway through?
Yeah, because it's like you have to do homework. It's like for me with Lord of the Rings, like even watching like the first movie or whatever, like I have no idea what's going on. I need to like read a book to even understand some of these terms.
I want my $2.
Thank you so much. $2 super chat. Mm-hmm. Simba for president. Josh Quick, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. And actually, a couple of guys actually pointed out that's a great thing about the Orville. You could just jump into the Orville at any point.
That's right. Oh, and Albert, not V2.0, Canadian $5. Hey Mecca, have you had a chance to check out my monologue on the female and male harassment that happened on the set of 2005's North Country? I have not. What is North Country? Is that a movie? Sorry, I don't know what that is, but thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate it. North Country. I don't know. That's like, I don't know. Is that a movie?
I don't know.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
I've never heard of it.
So from about 2004 to about 2011, I lived in the 60s. Long story, just assume that if it's like pop culture, I might have heard of it or I might have come back to it. But just a great thing to just assume that I was like, yeah, Saber Wolf, the crickets. No, I don't know what that is. The movie failed because Stanton was an unproven director and spent too much on the initial budget reshoots.
Oh, he spent too much. Oh, he went over budget. I know what that's like. I went over budget the other night. A very nice girl from the escort service said, I charge this much an hour. Oh, perhaps I've said too much though.
Right.
Can you imagine? I can't imagine Tom Rothman going to like the Bunny Ranch. He's trying to negotiate. I don't understand. Why can't I get the senior rate? I don't understand. Just like,
well, that's the problem with going to the brothels out in Vegas or out like in Pahrump or wherever. They're not in Vegas. They're like outside of Vegas.
Yeah.
You go in and they give you they parade out like 5 girls and you have to pick which one based on which one you like. But some of the other ones, you can't negotiate prices until you're in a room with them. And that's how they get you. Because if you could negotiate prices and if they had like a price tag on their heads, that would be perfect. You just give me the cheapest one, right? But no, they're like, oh, it has to be a special experience. And,
There's also the fact that they have the right to say no. Like listen, I don't want to. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
they're coming to get you. They caught you jacking it.
It's but I'm not in San Diego.
North Country was a movie about women who work in a coal mine. Okay.
We'll get in a coal mine.
That's my only experience is the Devo cover of Working in the Coal Mine. This is my only knowledge. Oh no, like I think they had like some songs about that from Steel Eye Span, but they're kind of one of those weird folk rock bands from Ireland, I want to say. I don't know anything about it.
They hired the worst Matthew Gaudette. They hired the worst person imaginable to make a faithful adaptation of the manga for Akira. Okay.
Yeah.
Josh Quick. I saw Spider-Man Far From Home and half the theater didn't like it. What the fuck?
Really? That's weird. I didn't know. Because see, it seemed like my theater, they all pretty much liked it. I enjoyed it, but I always tend to like the Spider-Man movies. I don't know.
YTD does not give a damn about canon.
Oh, and Akira?
Akira's not going to be. I hate guys. No, Akira's not going to be good.
No, they don't. I mean, even as somebody who doesn't like the anime movies or anime in general or manga, they're never anything like, even just objectively, they're always not good movies to the Western audience because they're supposed to be a certain medium that they're delivered on. And they just don't really click. So, at least with me or with American audiences for sure, I'm very much a like that stupid Men Drive Car Fast rock movie that's coming out. That one looks really fun. I'd probably go see that.
No, with Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, I'd probably go see that. That looks kind of fun. It looks stupid, but it looks fun.
And Idris Elba.
Yeah, as Black Superman.
Just be like him.
Holy shit, thank you so much. Oh my god. Albert Nada, V2.0 Canadian 20. North Country was a movie about Charlize Theron about women minors who were sexually harassed. Ironically, the actresses decided to take their tension out on the guys on set and bragged about it in their interviews. Oh, okay.
Take your tension out on guys?
Take their tension out on the guys on set and bragged about it in the interviews. So they were just, going back, yeah, they were kind of, the classic power struggle stuff, like when you have one side of the spectrum and the other side of the spectrum kind of, and they shift power, then the other side just completely is horrible to the other. The bullied become bullies. It looks like that seems to be what happened behind the scenes.
Okay, well,
so yeah, no, I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I've never heard of that movie, but that seems to be where a lot of the SJW crap might have started, huh? Typical third wave feminists. Akira's an Asian story, and he's an Asian cast in Asia. I think that's where a lot of the anime and manga can just can thrive and be very well received. There are Americans who really, really enjoy it. I totally get that, and who consume it and love it and eat, breathe, and sleep.
I like it. I like Akira. I mean, I like it. I like a lot of anime. But
see, I think I fall asleep when I there's like 3 or 4 of them that I watched when I was like probably in like 97. I want to say it was probably like Akira. It was like Ninja Scrolls. It was Vampire Hunter D. I remember the names. I fell asleep. I think during all it was like dope.
Anime secretly Pete? No, it's not. It's not.
No, that's really not. It's really not. It's cartoon it's pixels. I mean, I would be a sexual assaulter if, you know, look at what I do to the girls in Senran Kagura.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
You watched it.
I did.
And you enjoyed it. Do you guys want to see Rob play Senran Kagura?
He not only watched it, he spanked to it, I'm sure.
I'm gonna jack it where the sun is always shine. He's gonna jack it.
Girls' skirts are so damn short, it's a millimeter below their labia. Well, most anime I've seen, they always have like that trope where in like the first couple episodes, the guy falls on a girl onto her boobs, like with his hands on her boobs, and it's like, oh no, don't look at me, or oh, you saw my panties, now I can never get married. I'm like, oh my god, shut up.
Or as they would say, you know, however they. Listen,
scream! That's so dirty, don't.
As much as I like anime, even I get put by the shrill kind of, you know.
Oh yeah, the shrill yelling. I can't do the shrill yelling. No.
And I understand. Yeah, and I understand that's a lot of Asian women's natural registry, but at the same time, it's like, oh, I'm like, oh, please.
You'll let Yoko onto the stream.
Yeah. I was listening to Howard this morning. Yoko has a new album out. He goes, "Who keeps letting her make music? Who keeps letting her make albums? Come on."
She self-produces and she's got $1 billion. Of course, she's gonna make an album.
I've never.
You mean John Lennon produced it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Alfarius. I've never seen Goblin Slayer.
As in paid for it.
I know. I've heard about it though. It's one that like I think SJWs are all up in arms about. It's like I'm not completely ignorant to it. I just don't really. It's not my thing. It's just not my thing. I want to just trash it. You know, it's closer to my thing. Something like this. Something like so. Right. Yeah, this.
I can't. Well, we can't see it.
You can't see it. It's the Clockwork Orange Stormtroopers.
Okay. All right. Those
picture
guys. Yeah.
Here that I need to hang up at some point. That I had handy not too long ago.
I'm good, my brothers.
I should check out here soon though.
Just to get other stuff ready. Yeah.
I gotta get ready to go to get trivia. I gotta shower and I gotta do whatever, you know.
Yeah, I gotta get something to eat before Toxic Femininity. So do we have that set up? Where can we
yeah, I already sent the link. I put the link out there. I'll do it again.
Yeah, put the link in there. We're gonna be live in 30 minutes over on Midnight's Edge After Dark with Sadie. With Sadie puppy.
Get him, Sadie.
Put Sadie on camera. Let me see Sadie. Let's see the doggy.
Get him, Sadie.
I ain't showing my nasty house.
But let me see the doggies. Let me see doggy.
Generation Productions later.
Where's doggy? He's like, no. I'm adjusting the screen to see the doggy, and it's not happening. Somebody go on camera somewhere.
So have we had a verdict on whether or not playing Star Trek on Bridge Crew is a good idea?
I think it's a great idea, and I think I'm going to pick it up. So I think it'll be hilarious and awesome and wonderful. Even though I spent way too much money today on. Hey, if anybody wants to gift it to me on Steam. No, I shouldn't do that. Where's my Steam profile? Random Game User 42. I am Random Game User 42 on Steam. Copy, paste. Oh yeah, you can just Google me now. There's my Steam profile. There's a whole bunch of games I'm like dying to get in my wish list. I'm like, I can't because I saw Spiderman and it was like, even though it was like $10 a ticket.
I got trivia tonight, so hopefully I'll win. Hopefully we'll win and we'll get a little extra pocket change.
Yay! Do you win money from that?
Yeah, we do.
You need me on your team. I'm not that bad.
Depending on what the take is, depending on how many people how many people show up, how many people, how many teams there are, and if we have to pay the victor tax.
I'm trying to see Sadie on camera, and Tom's like, nope, because I moved the camera. I can't say your name. Is Toll the One Ring? I stole the One Ring. Ah! Thank you so much. 199 super chat. I really appreciate it. I'm bouncing for the super chats and for luck and trivia here. The victor attack.
Oh, there she is. Doogie. Hello, Doogie. Oh my gosh, she's so big.
Say something, Sadie. All right, say something. I gotta. How do I focus? There she is. Oh, Dougie.
Speak, girl. Speak.
Hey, Dougie. Hey. Oh, hey, Dougie. So that's the doggy who was here.
She got all camera shy.
Oh.
She's a beauty. Okay, kids. I'm gonna take off. I gotta go get ready.
She's off camera now. She's barking again.
Doggy.
Yeah, she probably wants her supper and stuff. So
yeah,
all right.
It is dinner time, and we're gonna reset. We're gonna head over to Midnight's Edge after dark. That link is in the description, and we're doing Toxic Femininity. So it's me, Mary. Who else is there? Miss,
I believe, is also joining you guys again. Yes.
Jeez. A good dream team. We're talking about girl stuff. I have no idea what we're talking about. It probably won't be a super long one because I know Mary was saying she has to go and watch Spider-Man. So everybody go watch Spider-Man. I think it's a lot of fun. I think people are a little too harsh on it. I enjoyed it. It's a good turn your brain off and just enjoy. If you liked the last one, you're gonna like this one, and if you hated the last one, you probably won't like it.
Just go with it.
Right.
Okay.
And thank you guys
I had fun.
so much for hanging out and watching. Oh, Chef Carolyn Dunlap has an extra copy of Star Trek Preview for PS4. I don't have the online thing, though, so I'd have to spend more online. I'll have to think about it. Because it's like more money online than just buying the Bridge Crew on Steam.
Well, $60 for the year. That's the thing.
Yeah, I know. And like, yeah, it's for the year. It was $20 on Switch. I wish it was just on Switch. I paid $20 for mine for so I can play Mario Kart on Switch. Thank you guys so much. It has been a lot of fun. I am bouncing again. I didn't get enough for a braless bounce today, but that's all right. That's all right. Maybe I'll come back and stream more later tonight-ish or something. If I do, maybe I'll do it over on Twitch during the High Council, just some gaming or something. I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.